And we are back live. We have an update from report earlier while we were covering the protests. Broke in with news about the shooting in Buffalo, New York. It turns out that it was a racially motivated shooting. The suspect describing himself as a white supremacist and an anti-Semite online with a very long manifesto, if you will, a very long written document claiming that he was basically acting as a statement for the white supremacist idea that the white population is being replaced. And this is something that Tucker Carlson talks about quite a bit on his show. It comes from one of Donald Trump's speeches that started the whole thing, that they wanted to open the borders so that they could register all the illegals as Democrats and basically replace the white people, the white replacement theory. Again, attributed to Tucker Carlson as far as spreading the incredibly dangerous lies. I'm not going to call them misinformation, disinformation. They're lies, and they're racially motivated. And I told everybody for a couple of days. They have been calling, I watch these things. They've been calling for the next hero. Who's the next Kyle Rittenhauser? Who's the next George Zimmer? I told you they were specifically calling for people to rise up, and one of them did. At least one. Hopefully this is an isolated incident. That's another concern, is this, do we see more of this? I'm very concerned. I told you a couple of days ago that there would be something happening today, and it would be a catalyst, and it would just start to spiral until we either stopped it or it wins. It's either democracy or fascism, and our country teeters in the balance, in my opinion. This is the shooter, a white 18-year-old. He was, this is a picture taken as he's been taken into custody after he's had his body armor removed. Some will say, well, how do you know he's a white supremacist other than he just describes himself as he is, as is, that's his belief in the writing. He was hunting black people. He drove for hours, 3 to 4 hours away from where he lived to this area that is predominantly black. He went in the store hunting black people. 11 of the 14 people shot were black. 10 people dead, 4 people in the hospital. He's alive, unharmed. And we're going to find out that he's going to be a hero. I've said this quite a bit lately. The villains are going to be heroes, and the heroes are going to be vilified. And this is your next hero if you're the alt-right. Stood up for white Christian values. Those of us that are actual Christian, that actually have a deep-rooted faith in Christianity, this is so appalling that they do this and claim Christianity, but it's prophetic. It's what the Bible says is going to happen. Many are going to leave the churches, and the church is going to become evil, and the church is going to become wicked. And the ally of Satan himself is going to be in the church. So if you are a Christian, Don't be ashamed to be a Christian. And don't be ashamed to leave a church that isn't Christian. And if you can't find a church, contact me. If there's enough of us, we'll start our own little private online church for actual Christians, talking about what Jesus really said. Things like a rich man has as much chance of seeing heaven as a camel does passing through the eye of a needle. It's impossible, but they ignore that part. Jesus doesn't say start hating anybody that doesn't look like you. They ignore those parts, and it's easy to see if you look. So sorry, I wasn't intending to do that. 18-year-old, we don't know his name yet because he's a minor. AR-15 was the gun used to kill, to murder. He didn't, killing something means that it's a threat or a necessity to kill it. You have to, if you're going to have beef, you have to kill the cow. Murdering is just aimlessly taking lives. My concern was it would happen in a protest situation. It didn't, as far as we know at this time. Protests are still going on in Portland, Seattle, and along the West Coast. Hopefully nothing happens, but this has already happened. And you will find that this is the next hero. Sadly, we don't know his name yet. We don't know his. All we know basically is what we've learned through eyewitnesses and from a police press conference that was streamed, and that's where all the information I've given you. That's how I've got it. He went through the store hunting black people, and is going to be a hero for it. Our country, our world is heading in a very bad direction, and has been for a while. And if we are going to attempt to somehow alter the direction we're heading, we need to get started, in my opinion. Thanks for watching. We'll be back real soon with more. Again, just to recap, an 18-year-old in a supermarket in upstate Buffalo, New York, a supermarket located in a predominantly black area of residence, drove for hours to get to the location. It was well planned and thought out. He planned on taking his own life and left a lengthy diatribe on social media. The contents haven't fully been released, but the gist of the text that he wrote has been released. And 11 of 14 victims were black. 10 deaths, 4 in the hospital. 18-year-old shooter was taken into custody unharmed. He had put a gun to his neck when police did arrive, and they talked him out of shooting himself, and he was able to surrender. That's a good thing, because we're going to learn his connections. We're going to learn things that we wouldn't have possibly learned, or it would have taken longer to learn had he taken his own life. However, he's going to be a hero to the crowd that was chanting, that was screaming, fight, fight, fight. This is life or death. Alex Jones, we showed him the QAnon tapes. We played them, telling them to rise up. They're looking for heroes. This guy heard him. Hopefully this is the only one. We'll be back very soon with another episode. It's news for the rest of us. And it's a dark day. Keeping an eye on what's going on in Russia, as we've always talked about it. Supposedly, there's a coup attempt against Vladimir Putin. And we'll be monitoring that. I may be back on yet again live tonight. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell to notify when I am on. Hit the like, leave a comment. And you want to email? It's americandufus at gmail.com. Americandufus, all one word, DUFUS for doofus. And if you like what we're doing and you'd like to help support the show financially, support me financially, $ American Doofus at Cashapp. So again, that's not why I do it, but I need help in order to keep doing what I'm doing. And we've seen another example of lies and fear mongering and hate being described as white Christian supremacy. And we're going to see more, sadly, but